Today, we're zooming in, way in, down to the dust, where the stakes are life and death, and a shadow can mean the end of the world. This is the story of two friends, two ants, facing a threat so enormous, it blots out the sun. Meet Red Ant. He's tiny, slick, and moves like a flash of scarlet lightning. Right now, he's focused entirely on the journey. Navigating the cracks and crevices of the cracked, bone-dry soiler landscape that looks like a miniature desert plain. Red Ant is all curiosity and energy. Every grain of sand is an adventure. He's running full tilt, eyes wide, occasionally skidding slightly as he rounds a sharp corner of dry mud. Trailing steadily behind him, moving with the precision of a small, walking compass, is Black Ant. Ant is Red Ant's opposite, methodical, calm, and acutely aware of his surroundings. He's not fast, but he's never wasteful with his energy. While Red Ant is busy looking at the world, Black Ant is busy listening to it. They had a mission, a simple one, rarely to cross this parched expanse and return to the colony with the morning's findings. It was a familiar, if slightly tedious, trek. Red Ant, zipping around a large pebble, suddenly freezes. He's not frozen by choice, but by shock. A cold, sudden change has washed over the landscape. One moment, the sun was hot and sharp on the dry earth. The next, everything is veiled in a creeping, fast-moving gloom. He looks up, which for an ant means tilting his whole head back slightly, and all he sees is a wall of darkness descending rapidly. It's huge. It's impossible. Black Ant. Red Ant shouts, his voice a frantic vibration barely audible over the heat haze. What is that? Look how fast it moves. Black Ant, who was already starting to slow his pace seconds before the shadow arrived, doesn't rush. He stops dead center in a small, relatively flat patch of ground, completely exposed, yet completely still. He doesn't need to look up. He felt the vibration in the ground before the light changed. He smells the ozone change in the air. Stay still, Red Ant, Black Ant says, his voice low and firm, overriding Red Ant's panic. Do not move. Not one leg. Red Ant ignores him for a half-second, instinctively wanting to dart towards the nearest crack. But the size of the shadow paralyzes him. 2. It's not just big, it's gigantic, sweeping over the desert ground like a tidal wave of shade. It's shaped strangely, too not the smooth curve of a cloud, but jagged and broken. It's not a cloud, Red Ant, Black Ant whispers, his antennae twitching rapidly, tasting the air. It's close, very close, and it's alive. The darkness deepens. The air pressure seems to drop, pushing down on them. A low, rhythmic thumping starts, shaking the ground beneath their 6 tiny feet. Thump, thump, thump. Red Ant is shaking now. His slick body seems to shrink against the hot soil. He can see the shadow's edge clearly now. It's sharp, defined, and moves with a deliberate rhythm. It looks like the giant scaled skin of something immense. We have to run, Black Ant. We have to hide. Red Ant insists, trying to push himself forward, his flight instincts screaming at him. And run where? Black Ant challenges gently, but without hesitation. It moves faster than us. If we run, we draw its attention. If we hide, we risk being trapped. The shadow pauses, momentarily covering them completely. The light levels drop so low, it feels like dusk instantly descended. Then, Red Ant hears it a sound like dry paper crinkling high above them, and a faint, humid scent that definitely did not belong to the dry earth. Suddenly, the air just above them seems to shift, almost swirling. The ground vibration stops instantly. Everything is silent, suffocatingly so. Black Ant doesn't wait for Red Ant to panic again. His calm demeanor vanished, replaced by urgency. Now, Red Ant. We run. 2. The crack, the large one by the root. They burst into motion, 2 tiny specks sprinting across the dark earth. But as they move, the shadow moves with them, following their slightest shift. The shadow wasn't a shadow at all. It was the sole of a shoe, massive, textured, and moving slowly across the ground. And the crinkling sound. It was the movement of enormous fabric. They sprinted towards the sanctuary of a deep crack in the Muda defensive trench that offered at least some cover. But the shoe was gaining on them. It was a race against a deliberate, crashing force. Faster, Red Ant. Don't look back. Black Ant urges, pushing himself to speeds he rarely utilized. Just as they reached the lip of the crack, diving headfirst into the sudden cool earth, the ground vibrated one last, colossal time. Crunch! A shockwave of air and dust blasts over them, forcing them deeper into the safety of the crack. They wait, huddled together in the dark, silent, except for their frantic breathing. The light returns, harsh and bright, but the shadow is gone. The thumping is gone. The world is hot and silent once more. Slowly, carefully, Black Ant pokes his head out. The earth is undisturbed. The danger has passed, but the air smells different, a faint, rubbery scent lingers. Red Ant climbs out, dusting himself off, his legs trembling slightly. He looks at the vast, dry plain that surrounds them. He realizes that their entire world exists under the tyranny of things they cannot see, things that move with casual disregard. We made it, Red Ant whispers, still shaking. Black Ant looks at the spot where the shadow paused. Yes, but we were lucky. That was a close one. They exchanged a silent nod, the gravity of the encounter settling between them. Theo. The mission suddenly feels far more important, far more urgent. The journey continues, but the landscape looks entirely different now. It's a battlefield, and they are tiny, determined soldiers navigating a world controlled by giants.